The Masterclass series is graciously funded by the National Endowment for the Arts. Art Works. In an age where college funding is limited, education resources are questionable, and arts programs are being cut, the Coalition for African Americans in the Performing Arts, better known as CAAPA, has stepped up to the plate. Inspired by CAAPA as part of its commitment in supporting classical music education and performance artists throughout the United States and abroad, we offer the Masterclass series. CAAPA marries serious music students with acclaimed music masters of color, targeting historically black colleges and universities, or HBCUs, high school performing arts schools, and music conservatories, including the universities of Alabama State, Clark Atlanta, Fisk, Hampton, Howard, Lane College, Morgan State, North Carolina Central, Spelman College, Virginia State, and Xavier University of Louisiana. Since its launching in 2014, the Masterclass series helps students work on technique, improve stage presence, fine-tune performances, and build self-confidence. While emphasis is placed on classical music students to participate in the Masterclass series, audiences and faculty members are also encouraged to attend the free-to-the-public sessions. An exciting and fresh way to help CAAPA bring color to the classics. The Coalition for African Americans in the Performing Arts, in partnership with Xavier University of Louisiana, presents the Masterclass series, the premier Black classical music Masterclass series. Hailed for possessing a voice of extraordinary beauty, a seamless legato, and great dramatic depth, American soprano Karen Slack has garnered international renown for her artistic versatility, charisma, and entrepreneurial endeavors. Highlights of her 22-23 season include her debut with the Dallas Opera as Freya in Das Rheingold, the world premiere of Sean Opeblo's Song in Flight, performing as featured soloist with the Nashville Symphony and the Oklahoma City Philharmonic in 2 different world premieres by Hannibal Lacumbe, and titled roles in productions at Portland Opera and Edmonton Opera. A recipient of the 2022 Sphinx Medal of Excellence, Slack is known for her dynamic and passionate performances in both lead operatic roles and the concert stage, as a sought-after collaborator, curator, and artistic advisor, and for her groundbreaking approach to engagement. A graduate of the Adler Fellowship and Marola Opera Program at the San Francisco Opera, the native Philadelphian is also a graduate of the prestigious Curtis Institute of Music. She is a winner of numerous competitions and awards, most notably the Masara Kabaye International Competition, Metropolitan Opera National Council auditions, George London Foundation Award, and the Marian Anderson Icon Award.
She buttoned my coat, even the top of my face. She brushed my hair, the way she had my hair. Took me all the way to school, and it was always a word without a voice ringing.
Music Advisor for Portland Opera, co-chair of the Women's Opera Network with Opera America, and serves on the board of the American Composers Orchestra. Facilitating today's masterclass, soprano Karen Slack. Hello. One second. Hello to everyone and welcome to CAAPA's virtual masterclass series. My name is Angela Renée Simpson. I am the program director and your host for the series. I would like to thank Xavier University of Louisiana and its music department for agreeing to partner with us today in bringing color to the classics. To the LULA, XULA music students and faculty who are observing via Zoom, we have a short question and answer session after Ms. Slack finishes working with Mr. Trotter. Please feel free to use the chat button for any questions you may have, and those who are watching on Facebook Live, please post your questions in the comments. Now, without further ado, I bring to you our music master soprano, Karen Slack. Hello, Miss Slack. How are you?
Listen, after that introduction, I'm like, okay, I guess you're doing all right.
Absolutely, you are doing all right. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to do this masterclass for us. We really, really appreciate it.
Of course, it's just a part of what I do. It's the most important for me.
Wonderful. Okay, so let's get started. First, we would like to bring XULA sophomore mezzo-soprano, Miss Ahmir Owney.
Awesome.
I will be your timer, and you have 25 minutes.
Okay.
Miss Owney. All right, I will leave you to it.
All right. That 25 minutes seems like a long time, but it goes by so fast. I just want to, before we start, Maya, I just want to say thank you to the entire CAAPA organization for having me. It is always my honor to work with young singers. I still feel in my heart that I am a young singer, because every time I work with a singer, I think of myself. I remember what it was like to be on the other side. So it is an honor for me. I will say this, and I say this at the beginning of all of my classes. I am not a master teacher and you are a lowly student. Like I don't, that's not my motto, my brand and how I teach. I am just sharing information. We are exchanging as artists, and I am only giving you what it is that I see today. This is not a performance. This is for you to get all that you need to get that I can give you that I can give you in 25 minutes. So I say to sing, to express, not to impress, and let's have fun. Okay. Okay. All right. What are you going to sing today, Maya?
Well, I'll be singing Sebben Crudele by Antonio Caldara.
Wonderful. Beautiful, beautiful, Amaya. Amaya, right?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So, can you tell me a little bit about this piece?
Yes, so basically the song is mostly about how someone wants to love another person, but it's kind of like they playing hard to get with them. So they're like, hey, I love you. I'm gonna make you love me back.
Okay, see, I need a little bit more of that in the piece. What happens is when we when someone asks us what does it mean or what's the translation, we give the full interpretation. And then when we sing, we clam up, right? And the opposite, the way I like for singers to do is to continue to speak the text all the time, constantly, before you get to the singing. So that when you get to the singing, your instinct is to do with the way you practiced it when you spoke the text. So that is how you build your interpretation. So even before you get to the singing part, it is really about finding out what it is this piece means to you, not just the translation like word for word, but how you connect to it, how you express it, saying it 10 different ways, the text, before you get to the singing. Because people always say, well, what makes a great artist? Or how does one learn how to interpret? You must first take the text away from the music, find the language, and then you go into the singing. Or then you go into the singing. This is once you've learned the notes and all that kind of stuff. So I just wanted to get that across to you. So can you speak the text as it's like a poem?
Sebben crudele, mi fai languire.
Keep going, it's okay.
Sempre fedele, ti voglio amare, con la ghisa del mio cervello. La tua fierezza s'approsta ancora.
Okay. Say it again. I want you to get comfortable. You got the nerves part out, right? Sebben crudele, mi fai languire. You have those important words: crudele, cruel, languish, languire, a languish, amore. Really lean into those important words. And you see how I say languir, amore. What it does is start to become singing, so when we speak it, then you just fall right into the singing instead of, when you sing, you clamp down, right? You want to, it's just a faster way to make the singing better when you do it, to me personally, when you do it this way. So say it again, get comfortable with speaking the language, interpreting it the way that you feel.
Sebben crudele, mi fan languire, sempre fedele. Ti voglio amare, con la lunghezza fier cervello. La tua fierezza s'approsta ancora.
Yes. You feel those vowels? Sebben crudele. See how open they are? That is what's missing when you did it the first time. Everything was Sebben crudele. Really make sure that you have the space in the inside, right? So when you take your breath, I always say breathe into the vowel. If it's an A vowel, it's an A vowel, O vowel. Breathe, you have to feel the cool air inside. So do you feel the cool air when you breathe in?
No.
Right, because there's not enough space. So you got to unhinge this, this top molar and your jaw, and really open your mouth and take a breath. Take a breath in your nose and in your mouth, both at the same time. Try it. You feel that?
Yeah.
Yeah, how open that is. And I can't really see your mouth, but I want to make sure that there's no jaw tension and there's no tongue tension, that you're really not holding it, but that you're really releasing here and breathing into the vowel and feeling the cool air up higher. So try it again. And breathe out. Just do it a couple times until you feel that cool air. Okay? Is that you feel it?
Yeah.
Okay. Now that we identified that space, I want you to speak. Sebben crudele mi fai languir. Lang enge enge languir.
Sebben crudele mi fai languir.
Mi fai languir. Yes.
Mi fai languir.
Yeah. Keep going. Keep going.
Sempre fedele ti voglio amar.
Yes, ma'am. Keep going.
Con la lunghezza del mio cervello. La tua fierezza saprò stancar.
Yes, ma'am. Now I want you to sing the first phrase. Don't go back to the old way. Keep it open. Keep it up and down, right? And breathe into those vowels. Try it again from the top. And breathe in the introduction. You can't get in your car and get your foot on the brake, right? And then automatically put your foot on the gas. Like, it doesn't work. It's a much more slower exchange, right? So you have to keep breathing. You got to keep letting your air in and out, so that when you take the breath to sing, it's not this kind of clamp up to sing. Singing is breathing, is walking. It is very easy, effortless. You need to go from walking to jogging to running. Like it's just water falling off the, out of the sink, whatever. Try it again. From the singing. Breathe.
Sebben crudele mi fai languir.
Breathe.
Sempre fedele ti voglio amar.
Okay. How did that feel?
Felt more open.
Felt better, right? Okay, the thing I'm going to do with you, because I think the body is not really as active as it needs to be. Do you do dog pants? Yeah? Okay, good. So let's do some dog pants, because I feel like the body is not as active as it needs to be.
Okay.
Just do some. And where do you feel the poggio, the lean? In the front, in the back, in the sides?
I feel like in the side.
Yeah. And a little bit in the front. Now take the breath and blow it out. Take the breath and blow it out. And do your dog pants again. Really act. You feel the agitation that you need. The air, the breath is moving.
Yeah.
That's what you need. So oftentimes when I feel tight, I go, let me do my dog pants to make sure I can find out where my support is. I'm going to give you one more thing. Do you do lip trills?
Not really.
Okay. Do you know how to lip trill?
I think so.
Okay. So lip trill the first phase. Okay. So how does your body feel?
Tired.
Right, because it takes more energy to sing with your body. You gotta practice that, But what I tell people with the with the lip trills is that it helps you feel where your support is. The dog panting helps you locate, okay, where do I need, you know, to make sure that I'm not tight. And the lip trill goes, okay, that is where my support is, my low in the, you know, right above my pelvic bone is low, in the back there, wide on the side, like, you know, that is singing, and it keeps it off of your throat. So now that the body is active, and now that you're right, loosen, exactly, move around. Singing is a physical thing. It is not something that just happens like casually. So now that you feel in your breath low and it's moving, and you have your space where you're opening your mouth, right? And you have where your molar is attached from where your jaw is, breathing into your vowels. Try to think about all those things that I just gave you, and sing through the rest of the piece.
Okay.
Breathe. Don't forget to breathe. Oh, keep going. Beautiful. I like that better. I think there's more. I think that's more of a released sound. I think that you need to speak this because the key is so low. When you go down, you clamp down, right? As if you're speaking, but you have to keep it. You have to keep the position a little bit higher, a little bit more forward in your vowels. Sebben crudele, mi fai languire. Italian lives right here. Use those cheekbones. Yes. You see how, and you have to send the air right into those spaces. And especially in the low. Ti voglio amare, ti voglio amare. That's a oh, that's not I. E. What's your favorite vowel to sing?
Oh.
O? Okay. So O is not O. O is O. 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 We think O is this dark kind of back vowel. But it's O. Oh. Now, oh. That sound doesn't go anywhere. It sounds good to you, but then the audience is like, huh? All right. Speak the second verse the way we did it before, because I think that worked for you to find the placement. And no straight tone. I hate straight tone. You got to keep the air moving, and that's why I like lip trills, because the air stops when you're stopping the air. The trill stops, and it tells on you. When the air is moving, everything's going at the same time, right? So speak the second verse.
Con la lunghezza del mio Xavier, la tua fierezza, sempre stanca.
Yeah, con la lunghezza, con la lunghezza, lunghezza.
Lunghezza.
Yeah, NG, right behind the nose. Lunghezza.
Lunghezza.
Yeah, you see that? Lunge. They put it right in the right vowel. So not lunge. So it's living a little bit too far down. La tua fierezza. La tua fierezza.
La tua fierezza.
Yes, la tua fierezza saprò stancar.
La tua fierezza saprò stancar.
Yeah. And what's that translation?
The la tua?
Mm-hmm.
Your pride I will tear down.
Mm-hmm. Aha. So it is a strong statement.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so it needs to be higher, resonating higher and stronger, not back here, lay back it's too, release the jaw. There's a lot, when we go low, we think we have to clamp down, and it really is the opposite. You got to really keep it resonating higher, you guys need more support, right? So do the lip trill on that second verse, so that you can find in your body what you need to sing that phrase. Okay. Of course, I can't hear anything because the lip trill cuts out all of the volume. It's so interesting how that works. But go back now. Feel in your body, right? You feel the support in your body, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you're doing that, that is what you need when you sing. So you need to have the support needs to be low and deep, and then the position high in the mouth, right? Open.
5 minutes, Miss Slack, 5 minutes.
Okay, so do the second verse for me. Thank you, Angela. You were singing like 4 measure phrases. When the breath is moving, right? You just feel it. It keeps going, right? The phrases kept going. I think at the end of the phrases, again, like we start, and it's so difficult to do these things over the Zoom because then I can't feel you. I can't hear what it sounds like. It does sound clearer, but I feel like how old are you?
I'm 20.
20. Oh, so young. So, right. So you have to build the strength, right? So I feel like with younger singers, it's, it just takes time to build the strength to support your sound. right? So that's why the breathing, feeling where your support is, breathing into the vowel, making sure when you breathe, you feel the cool air, and that it's not, that you're not supporting with the throat, that you're actually, when you're breathing, that you are using your body, you know, leaning in into your back, into your, you know, your sides, and really taking the breath without feeling the tension here. And then you have to keep going, right? And it's like midway through the phrase and you start to give up, but you can't, because that's how, it's like building a muscle, right? Like lifting weights. Like you get your reps going, and then midway through you start to get weak, you give up, but you have to keep pushing through, right? You got to keep I always say, my dad's a basketball coach, and he says you have to finish. You don't shoot the ball. You have to shoot the ball to get the ball into the net. So you have to do a complete phrase, right? Don't go Sebben, all the way to the end. You have to continue to support the sound all the way to the end of the phrase. Okay. All right, so just quickly, I think we have a couple more minutes. I need 3 things that you want to take into the practice room from what we did today.
Okay. Doggy pants. Lip trills to make sure I'm keeping my airflow going. Making sure that my jaw is unlocked, and to make sure I feel where my support is in my sides and my lower back.
Yes, that is a great basis to singing. Get the bad tension out, no holding in the jaw and the tongue, and really feeling where your support is and what you need to carry through the end of the phrase. If you focus in on those things and lock into that kind of stuff, I'm telling you, the growth will be tremendous over the next couple of months. Thank you. You're welcome. And keep saying those phrases over and over and over and over. It keeps the text. Get that language, that really Italian sound in your speaking. It'll make it much easier to go to singing.
Yes.
All right, wonderful.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, Miss Owney. Next, we have XULA senior tenor Ahmir Trotter.
Hi, Ahmir.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. So I'm going to be performing and singing a song called Mattinata by Leoncavallo.
Wonderful. Thank you.
La luna di bianca vestita, già l'uscio dischiudi cansò, di la coglievo se sudita, carezza di fiori lo stuol, commosso donfe mi cantano, intorno teatre già, e tu non rideste invano, mi sto qui dolente a cantare. Mettiamo che tu la veste bianca e schiudi l'uscio al tuo cantare, non sei la luce ma
beautiful, beautiful. You like this piece, huh?
Yes, I love this piece.
Yes. Can you tell your audience what it is about a little bit?
Well, this piece is practically a love song. I think of it as like a love letter to somebody, or just a love letter to myself about somebody else. And he talks about the sun and how he sees the sun, and it kind of reminds him of this woman, and he sees the flowers and he wants to caress them and smell them because it reminds him of her. And she quite doesn't know it yet, or, so he's just kind of like, but the day you do love me, oh, it will be so beautiful. It's going to be so wonderful.
Yes, absolutely. And I will say that you need to find the layers, right? You need to find when you have those big, outbursts of the emotion, and like, are you speaking to her?
No, it's more so speaking to myself.
Right.
I work speaking to her, but not directly.
Okay, right, exactly. So you need to, when you're singing, you have to think about those things, right? It's easier when you're in opera, right? Because you can connect with other characters. You know who you're speaking to. You're going back and forth, but with the songs, you have to find and show when it's internal and when it's external. When the moments are when you can, because sometimes you don't get the markings in the music. It has to come from your own personal interpretation of how you see. That's why I love saying the text over and over and over again to find my way that works for me. So the first phrase, who is it to? It's to yourself.
Yes, singing it pretty much just out loud, thinking in thought of.
Right. So when you're thinking about that, where is the end of the thought for you?
The end of the thought is before I get to the repeat of that kind of section where I get into con mosso don fremi torcano.
Okay, so that's a long thought. That is a long thought. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's show me what you can do. Show me what you can do with that. But I will say this before we go on. I would like you to just do vowels. Okay. Just sing that first phrase to Fiori lo stuol on the D. Just sing that in vowels.
Okay. And you want me to start there?
Mm-hmm. I want you to start at the top of the l'aurora, and just go to where you hold the D sharp.
Okay.
Just vowels.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Those were not quite right.
No, kind of like was thinking about it too much.
Those were not quite right? Okay, well, we got to fix those, because again, the vowel is the key to singing, to singing effortlessly. The vowels have to be lined up and they have to be right. You see, la da 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 da, like that's how you find your legato. You have to connect those vowels. So just say the words. We're gonna find the right vowels and we're gonna find out how to sing this better. And when you take your breath, don't move. Don't move. Don't move. Take your breath. And then you sing.
Okay.
Right? Don't do an extra. And I'm a mover. So when you see me saying, forgive me, like, that girl told me not to move. And here she is moving all over the place, But I want you to feel your body from taking your breath to the chord approximation to the voice coming out, right? To get out of your own way. So just say the text for me. I have my text here.
Okay. L'aurora di bianca vestita. Già l'uscio di schiul di alla gran sol.
Già l'uscio di dischiude al gran sol. Dischiude. So dischiude, dischiude. Dischiude al gran sol. Say it again.
L'aurora di bianca vestita. Oh my goodness, my head just like.
That's okay. That's okay. But again, it's good. It's good. It's good that you're doing that because that means that you have to go back to your text. You know, over. It's your script. Do you do any plays or anything?
I have, yes.
Yeah. So you got to keep always right, constantly going back to over your words, your language, over and over again. Right. It's the same thing.
Okay.
L'aurora. When you take a breath as if you're going to sing and speak the phrase.
Okay. L'aurora di bianco vestita, già l'uscio dischiude a gran sole. Digia con le rose sudita.
Now speak it like you're just saying it instead of singing the da, right?
Got it. Would you like me to start from the top?
Yes, l'aurora di bianca vestita, già l'uscio dischiude al gran sol.
L'aurora di bianca vestita, già l'uscio dischiude a gran sole. Di già con le rose sudita.
Then you went da. Long vowels.
Di già con le rose sudita.
Yeah, di già con le rose. What's the most important word there?
Rose.
Di già con le rose.
Carezza. Oh, carezza di fiori lo stuo.
Da. You feel that? Da. Legato. Link the vowels. Carezza.
Carezza di fiori lo stuo.
Yeah. Carezza di fiori lo so. Carezza di fiori. You see how I'm saying it and I'm keeping the vowels longer and I'm on my breath. Carezza di da pampa. Carezza di so. Yes. That. I'm telling you, when you do it that way, the singing happens effortlessly. So longer phrases on my support and my vowels going like I'm singing. Okay, try it again. Carezza.
Carezza di fiori lo stuo.
Keep going.
Con mozo don fuermi. Sorry. Con mozo don fuermi cantando. Intorno creato Japan.
Sorry, I'm in the hotel.
E tu do di desti l'inforno. Mi sto qui lento te a canta. I'm singing it like rhythmically, sorry. I'm just trying to remember the words. It's hard to sing the words or recite the words without singing them.
Right. Let me answer this phone. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine.
I'm sorry. Now you all know what it's like to be on the road and doing all these things. Somebody had flowers for me, so that's wonderful. Right. So now you feel the difference, right? In the line versus singing it this way. And it feels terrible when you go back to that, right? After you have the line. So try it again. The caretta, that last. E tu non ti desti. Oh, did I get you off?
No, I think they're frozen. I think their
okay.
camera's frozen. Okay.
Off camera?
They're probably gonna have to, let me bring myself back on camera. They're probably gonna have to reboot. Yeah, reboot. Yeah.
I think I was doing okay. I guess
you were doing fine. You were doing fine. Well, we can vamp until they come back. So I see you're working with line and legato with the, and I'm sitting here watching. I'm sitting here mouthing it just like like you are with especially with Italian. You have to find that line, and you have to find that, of course, breath first. But can you emphasize a little bit on that, especially working with Italian, working with those vowels, and what you were working with Mr. Trotter?
Absolutely. I mean, Angela, like you are like me, very like our voices, how it's just set up line. Like legato is some of the strongest suits that I think you and I both have together. But like without the line, there is no phrase, right? You have to know where you're going. You have to take the breath and know where you want to go. But legato to me is just the vowels, connecting each vowel with air behind it, and knowing where you're going, knowing where you start and know where you're going. So funny, Angel Blue, I did a Zoom with her on her show, her talk show, and she's like, how do you sing like that? I'm like, girl, I take my breath, I get my space, I line my vowels up, and I go. Italian is because the vowels are so bright and so much more forward. You cannot get away with singing them too dark and back and heavy. And although Italians tend to sing their language not as clear as we do, but they speak. So they know the support that they need when they speak it, when they do their language. I think you can get away with it in some other languages, but Italian, particularly in the music with those soaring lines and the melodies, is just, you can't get away with it.
Right. Especially Ms. Owney, everything was, the lower she got, and I had the same thing with my students. The lower they get, they think they have to color and make it sound a certain way because it's low. I used to do that as a mezzo-soprano when I first started singing. I thought, we thought we were doing something.
Yes, okay. You thought you were making a sound, but again, it's for you, right? It doesn't go anywhere, right?
Right. Exactly.
I wish I didn't tell her, is that, as you go lower, you need to think higher. Yes. And then
and open up on those vowels. You won't be heard. Got
to get the voice out.
Right, exactly. Oh, I guess they are having some troubles. So we're gonna. I don't think we have any. Do we have anyone? Oh, here they're back. They're back. Good, just in time. We understand those technical difficulties.
Listen, we're in this era still.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, make sure to put yourself on mute, and we will get back to it.
All right. All right. Okay. So we're going to start at the top again. So when you breathe, what are you thinking about when you breathe?
When I breathe, my main thought is to not tense up, because that's one of my biggest issues as I breathe. I breathe with a lot.
Not to what you said, I'm sorry.
I said, when I breathe, I sometimes breathe with a lot of tension by accident, just subconsciously. I kind of tighten up as I breathe when it should be the opposite way around. And that's just something that kind of happens subconsciously. So I try to hyper fixate my focus on making sure that I don't tense up as much as possible.
Right. Right, because what happens is that when we breathe and everything comes up, and then we start here, and then we never can get ourselves out of the jam, Do you feel like I was telling with the other young lady, the cool air when you take the breath? Are you open? Is it open? Do you feel that?
Yeah, I found it when you were explaining that. I was actually trying to exercise, and I did find that spacing while you were explaining. Yes.
Awesome. So you want that. So what I do in the introduction is I'm always breathing, trying to find it, breathing in and then breathing out in the introduction. And everyone thinks you're so serious too, like you're in it. When you're breathing and trying to find it, but in your body. So when I'm taking the breath, and some people's techniques are different, right? And you don't want to feel the tension, right? There's good tension and there's bad tension. The bad tension is when you take the breath and you get tight in your pelvic area, because then it closes the throat. It is the opposite. When you take the breath, everything should go out and down. Away from the throat. Yes, away from the throat. And so that you're open, not push, like when you're just taking, we taking way too much air than what we need. we tank, and that is not, tanking leads to like failure. So you got to take that relaxed breath, leaning out with feeling the cool air inside, breathe into the vowel, and then start to sing. And I guarantee you have enough air. So just try it with those thoughts. Your voice is beautiful. So just try it with that. And those vowels, you need to make sure those vowels are right. But speak, sing it like you're with all the words.
Okay.
L'aurora di bianca vestita, già l'uscio dischiude il pranzo, di già con le rose sudita, carezza di fiori lo stuolo. Con mosso d'un femi corcano, intorno geaggiar, e tu non ti destetti in vano, mi sto qui dolente a cantare.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I want you to stop moving so much. Can you lean up against the piano for me?
Yes.
Right, okay. So just stand there.
Move forward a little bit. We can't see you. Move too far. You move too far back. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Take your hand out your pocket. Right. And stand there. Take your breath. Do not move. Try not to move. Just focus on taking the breath and singing and singing the text. Just start right before.
Okay.
Just that. You went. You see that? Yes. When you move, stop yourself.
Okay.
You have to practice that.
Okay.
Do it with your voice, not with your body. You need your body to hold your voice up. Just at the top of that measure.
Yes, we'll just start.
You feel that difference?
I do.
How did it?
That's like distraction from the air.
And it takes you off your line. If you don't need to do that, it's happening internally. Okay? All right.
Personally, I like to move a lot, so that's kind of my problem with it.
It's mine too. I know. That's why I'm on you. But you don't need it. It's a distraction, and it also takes you off of your line. If you prepare and just stay grounded and just stand still, that's it. Don't move. Just focus on not moving and breathing and opening, feeling that cool air and get that space. Don't let that jaw come up on every word. One long column from top to bottom. I want you just to focus like someone is pulling you at the top and weighting you down at the bottom. And don't move. Just breathe and release that jaw. Okay, go. You see how that helped your high note?
Yes.
You see how that helped your high note?
Yeah.
You could have held that thing forever. Again, when we do all these extra things, it takes the energy, the focus, the support off of just standing there and delivering beautiful, easy, free tones. It's like sometimes we're too smart for our own good. You know? Don't think, just sing. Stand there and sing. Start the second phrase because I want to get into da da the A note. I mean the A. Start the second phrase.
Second, yes. Yes, I do, 100%.
Absolutely, and you have easy high notes, so you don't have to take some of the, just go right to the center of the bit. Don't hesitate, right? Straight to the center. Try that again. It's so good. See, all you had to do was just stop moving. And get those vowels.
5 minutes, Miss Lack.
Thank you, Angela. So when you go down, when you're going down, think higher. And when you're going up, you know, just think lower, right? Don't go up with the top. But I don't want to talk about that because you'll do it fine. But when you get to those, when you get into like F sharp and A, it needs to be right into the center, not taking up too much weight, not overthinking it, but right in dead center in the middle of the pitch. Now try that with that whole phrase again.
Okay.
How you feeling? How's the throat? How's the body? Buy that. I'd buy that for more than $1. Yes, talk to me.
Yeah, as soon as I got the hang of not moving, because that's my biggest problem is like, how do I not move? It's kind of like something that just happens naturally for me, unfortunately. But the second I found it and like I started taking my breaths, I felt grounded. Like it literally felt different because usually I lift my breaths with my body or I try to sink them into my diaphragm. But it seems like that extra movement only kind of tenses my body even more. So just being able to stay here instead of here or here is kind of what really, really helped me.
Absolutely. That is the core of singing, is being grounded. You have to be on the floor and you got to be up and you got to keep that space. You know, you ever see Leontine Price sing on video?
Sorry?
You ever hear Leontine Price? You ever see her videos of Leontine? I mean, she's planted. She does not move. And everything is happening here. It's like, you know, she breathes and she you could see the space inside of her mouth. You know, Jesse Norman, when she, you know, when you breathe, and I'm talking about sopranos, I should be talking about tenors, but even Pavarotti, you know, he does not, he is a rock. So I'm glad that you said that. So now you have to be so disciplined with yourself, because what it does is changes your singing. It makes it to like really something serious, you know, and that is a big change. So practice in the mirror, it's hard. I know, because the mirror shows you everything you think you're not doing and you're doing, right? Okay, and work on that diction, clean that diction up. This is a beautiful piece, and you just keep working in that way. Thank you.
Very much.
Thank you, Mr. Trotter. That was wonderful. Now comes the question and answer session. If there are any students that are watching or they're in the space at Xavier that just watched this, if you have any questions for Miss Slack, please come on camera, and you can turn your camera back on if there are any students that want to ask Miss Slack any questions. If not, I will go on there. So Miss Slack, I've talked about this. This is the first time you're working with CAAPA virtually, so I want to talk about the COVID and the pandemic, and what did you do? Some of these students may not know this. What did you do during the pandemic when there were no singing engagements happening? What did you create for yourself?
Well, first of all, I was like, "Whoa, I need a break." At first,
yeah,
I was like, "This is cool," and because I just thought it was going to be a little bit of time.
Right. Of course we did. Right.
And then when it got real, and we were like, "Oh, we're going to be in the house, in the house, like." For real. And
yes. Yes.
And your manager calls you like, well, this is canceled and that is canceled. And you're like, oh God. What I did during the pandemic was I created a Facebook Live talk show called Kiki Conversations. And many people at this point, sometimes I think people know me, that the younger singers know me a lot for, my interview. So I decided to interview people in the industry, my friends. It first just started out with like, let's have what we do when we're on a gig, right? We all go out, we all like have a drink, to talk the kiki, And since we weren't doing that, I said, let's just do it online. And I had no idea that it was going to become a thing in the industry. And like people were like, hey, I want to go next. I want to go get on the show. And so I didn't realize that I had that skill set of like asking questions and interviewing people. And then when George Floyd was murdered on TV, then we had to start talking about inequities and racism in classical music. I leaned into those conversations. I did not shy away from them. And so we were having really transformative, which I did. It was nothing, none of that was planned. Right. As Angela, and then it kind of came the place to be. Like at some point we were like having fun, and then it got real serious with the talks about race and the panels, and then it became like this community of people coming together. So there would be like chats going on at the same time I was giving interviews, and people were like, we miss combos. And every time I keep thinking about how I'm gonna bring the show back, it's like it's got to be different. It can't be the same because we're in a different space. And I'm like, I miss it, and I miss the community and everything. So that's what I did on top of like getting an administrative job at Portland Opera.
Yeah, but see, this is the thing. You created something for yourself that you had no intention of doing. It's just something that organically came. But what became of that? Go on to tell us what became of that, but because it had such a following.
Yes, because I had such a following, people in the industry started seeing me more, not just a singer, but actually someone who had personality and had a brain and had a thought, because all the ideas of singers we don't that we just sing, right? That we're actually really living, breathing, feeling, people who have lives outside of this thing. And so I got to see me differently and see me as a leader. I had already been doing my work with Women's Opera Network because I'm very, very passionate about getting as many women into the industry from the other side as I can, particularly Black women. And women of color. We already run the world, so we need to be running classical music.
You talking about the administrative side.
The administrative side, yes, because so many of us, we have these careers on the stage, and then all of us people go away, or they go away to teach in universities. And I'm like, I want more of us to be the future, and I need to change the other side of the table so that we can see the changes that everyone so desperately says that they want on the stage. You know, I really feel like there's not enough of us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me ask you, so let me ask you this. Have you found that your career has, what happened before the pandemic, is it the same or is it different now?
It's very different. It's very different on many levels. Some because the industry doesn't really, well, in America, they don't really do the operas that I want to sing. And everyone says there's no money. So some of the bigger repertoire, some of the other things don't get done. But also what happened to me was that my love for concert work and chamber music and all that stuff allowed me the opportunity to get a new manager and to add somebody to my team that works solely in that world. And also I have a lot of I always had a lot of desires to curate and do my own producing. And, you know, as Angela, you know, like we could never say that you had other passions besides singing grand opera. You know, everyone's like, what do you mean you want to do all these other things? You're supposed to just be singing 5 roles all over the world or whatever. And so the pandemic allowed me to be able to get another career in alongside of opera, still singing. And I actually now may do that more frequently coming back out of the pandemic than I did opera, but I also knew that opera was not going to come back as fast. Well, I was very strategic about making sure that I was still singing and doing, you know, smaller recital halls, smaller venues, because those were going to come back faster. So it was really intentional for me as well to ensure that I was continuing to keep working and making an income.
Good. Well, now that we have these students listening, I ask all music masters this. What was it that you didn't know while you were in school that you wish you did know, someone had told you? And you can tell these young people.
That no matter how amazing this art form is, it is a business. It's a business first.
You say that again for the people in the back, please. Please say that. Repeat that again. I wish someone had told me that too.
No matter how good it feels or how much you love singing and how much you love this art form of opera, it is a business first. And you can dot all your I's and cross all your T's and do all the things. You can lose all the weight. You can learn all the repertoire. And this is a business. And the business dictates what the need is, what the necessity is. And you have to do it because you love to do it. You have to keep finding ways to do what it is that you love to do. By any means necessary, but that it is a business, and you have to make sure that, you know, no more eating ramen, no more not knowing how to save, how to invest, how to do all those things. I wish that would have been drilled home. And I went to a great school. I went to Curtis, you know, I instituted music, and I was a young artist in San Francisco, and you know, I had the traditional American singer fast track kind of career, but still there were definite holes missing in my education to sustain me. As a professional singer. And the flip side of that is very interesting, because I found during the pandemic that those singers who had the biggest careers, who were the ones who just sang opera, they just sang their 5 roles, this pandemic was not kind to them. It was those of us who were flexible, who were using our skill sets already, the many hustling were the ones who were thriving and not depending, because the big companies were not paying. They were not paying the singers, the artists and stuff. And so yes, it is a business 1,000% first.
Okay, we got a hand raised at Xavier. Someone has a question. You want to jump on camera?
Oh,
yes, state your name. Oh, hi, that's Miss Owney. Yes, your question, yes.
So my question was, how did you know exactly what you want to do with like music? Like, there's so many different careers you can do with a music degree, but how did you know which one you wanted to do exactly? And then how did you get there?
Okay, for me, it was very obvious. Opera was always my track. I grew up, I went to arts high school, so my teacher was a big opera person, a big opera fan. And I didn't grow up going to like church, so they have that gospel background. So my voice was always very high and very just head voice. I didn't know how to use that chest voice. So opera was a natural fit for me from being a young singer. I had this big, loud, kind of high voice. What I will say today, and I know everybody's story is different, everybody's track is different. Please know that you need to use your music degree you can use it in 20 different ways. Not just the one way, not just the singing, not just the teaching. Like, you need to maximize every skill set that piece of paper is giving you. Do not buy into what people at institutions teach you. This is no shade to Xavier. I'm talking about the entire institution of education training artists. They don't train us. They train us like racehorses instead of like being, I say that with the blinders, right? You can produce, you can compose if you want to, you can, depending on whatever your skill set is. And I say to singers, you can sing any genre of music you want, as long as you learn how to sing healthy. Yep. Learn how to sing well. Always go back to the core of the contour singing, do your scales, treat your voice well. You can sing whatever you want. And nowadays, those singers who can go in and out of the styles, like John Holiday, Will Liverman, Brandy Sutton, like all those guys that are, generation behind me, are killing it. They singing and doing everything, And so
I'm just going to interrupt you. This is a little known fact, and you and I know David Lee Brewer. David Lee Brewer, who's a comic tenor, operatic tenor, been so almost 30 years. He taught Beyonce for 10 years how to sing. Beyonce doesn't sing opera. She sings pop. She sings pop, R&B, that's her thing. But she was taught how to sing in a healthy manner. So that's what she was saying. You can sing, as long as you sing in a healthy manner, you can sing whatever genre music you want. And you can even be the person who decides who sings in it, who's singing this role. You can be an administrator if you want to.
Yes, because as long as you have the education, and the one thing that I did, I took a course, like a leadership course with Opera America, well before the pandemic, maybe about 5 years before. And I sat in there. On the last day of the last hour of that course, someone said to me, Karen, you have all the skill sets to be a leader. Singers, because we learn how to do 5 different things at one time. We learn how to breathe, how to support ourselves, how to learn all these languages, all these. If you want to go on the other side of the table, all you have to do is learn how to read a budget. Learn how to do a budget. Moving money around, but all the other skill sets and leadership, you already have that. You know the repertoire, singers, voices, you can cast because you've done the study. And I never thought about that because again, we train singers to think that we don't know. So
we can do is sing.
Right, the voice teachers. We go to all of these people to tell us. And then you're stuck with all this information, not knowing how to move the chess pieces on the board. That's why I said, tell me 3 different things that you can take into the practice room. I like to work with singers and I give them something so that you go back and you figure it out on your own, what works for you and what doesn't. To be independent, to be courageous, to step out of the box. All of the things that my generation were sort of like, don't get too far out of line. No, I want you to push the boundaries. I want you to change the industry. I want you to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Do we have any more questions from any of the students who want to pose a question in Slack? Anyone else?
Oh, come on. How often do you get a professional singer?
Absolutely. I will take advantage if you have another question. Okay, wonderful.
Hi, my name is Sandy Lewanika.
Yes, thank you for accompanying. Yes. Thank you so much.
Professor at Xavier. So my question I put it on Facebook, but I was basically kind of talking about what you were talking about, like how everybody's journey is different. But what do you do to really get in? So for a singer, what do you do to really get into the opera world? How did you get to the Met? How did you get a manager? Those things.
Mhm. I had a very traditional, like I keep saying that, an American career. Like you go to a big school, you go to a big young artist program, you win a couple competitions and you get opportunities, right? Having gone through the system, I think the system doesn't work for most people. And the system worked for me until it didn't work for me, until I had to adjust and switch my repertoire and do all these things. How you get to these places is a practice, becoming your own teacher in a way, keeping your chops up, studying the roles, keep the tempo of what's going on in the industry and being able to shift with the industry. And that's what a lot of artists don't understand. How do you stay connected to who you are and what it is you are and the repertoire that you want to sing? And how do you align with maybe the industry being different? I've seen that, the track to the career is different for everybody. Some people come from HBCUs, like, Morgan has an amazing track record of singers singing, all over the world, but they come from choir, that's pretty much the background. And then, other people like myself who go to the major institutions who, happen to already be on that track. But I just say, if you want to be an opera singer, it requires a lot of sacrifice and a lot of discipline. I will say this, we need more Black female pianists in the industry, repetitors, vocal coaches, because females, because there's just not enough of us. And I will say, on that note, now that the industry and the business is so accessible to everybody, you reach out to those pianists in that industry, Kathy Kelly, Warren Jones, Martin Katz, whomever in Mark Markham, in the industry that you like, that their playing speaks to you. See who's playing for what singers, and you reach out to them and you say, hey, you can even drop my name. Karen Slack told me to contact you. I have questions. Everybody is accessible now. Mm-hmm. And if you want to break in the industry, it is about networking, studying, learning. And as a pianist, you got to learn the languages, and you got to have some kind of ear for the bel canto technique. Mm-hmm. And play your ass off. Sorry. And learn the repertoire, because singers don't want to work with people who know repertoire.
True. There aren't that many of us as vocal coaches and pianists and accompanists. Yeah,
absolutely. That know our repertoire
and know our voice
and our voices, right? And know the opera stuff, the concert stuff, whatever. But we're looking for you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Okay. Well, thank you, Ms. Slack, for your questions. Can we bring on Ms. Davis to have her Dr. Davis for a few words?
Because the light is better.
Hello,
Dr. Davis.
Oh goodness, thank y'all so much, especially with all our technical difficulties.
Oh, that's quite understood.
It's like, it is truly an honor. Such a huge fan. Got to see you in Fire Shut Up in My Bones, so I had to have my fangirl moment. So yes, thank you so much for your wisdom and for sharing with our students and for being so generous. Thank you to Ms. Simpson and to CAAPA for allowing us and affording us these opportunities. And thank you, of course, to Xavier University of Louisiana, Department of Music, to our voice and choir faculty, Dr. John Ware, for helping prepare these students, and to our students as well for being prepared and performing and representing the university. So again, just want to say thank you all, and we hope you all have a happy holiday.
Thank you so much, Dr. Davis. Ms. Slack, do you have a few parting words you would like to leave with the students?
You guys are in New Orleans, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I love New Orleans, first of all. I love New Orleans, and when I'm down there, I guess I got to come see y'all, in that area. But I just want to say, what I always try to leave my classes with, my teachers, my students with, is that you have to listen to yourself. You have to not listen to your voice. You have to listen to the person, to the spirit. You have to trust that that thing inside of you that tells you what the right thing is the right thing. Every time I stopped listening to myself, I did not have a success. Mm-hmm. Every time I doubted, that intuition worked against me. But when I banked on myself, I have extreme belief in myself and my gift and what it is I have to say. It always works to my benefit. Not ego. It is just that internal thing. And we need you all in this industry, be it on stage, behind the scenes, being a subscriber, supporting classical music, supporting all kind of music. I'm not just saying classical music, but that's my my genre. Like, we need you to be a part of this community, this collective, particularly as Black people. This is our art form too. It belongs to us as well, Americans. So we need your support, and if you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out, because we're in a different time now. You have access to people, and ask those good questions, and just continue to just keep doing what it is you love to do, to express, not to impress, but to express.
Thank you, Ms. Slack. Thank you so much. So this concludes our CAAPA's virtual masterclass with the Xavier University of Louisiana. I hope everyone enjoyed the performances as well as took away some valuable insight from Ms. Slack. CAAPA would like to thank the Xavier University Music Department head, Dr. Tim Turner, Dr. Sakina Davis, Ms. Amia Owney, Mr. Ahmir Trotter, their accompanist, Professor Sandy Lewanika, and finally, Ms. Karen Slack. Thank you for joining us for today's masterclass. Please mark your calendars for December 14th for our last masterclass of 2022 with the Black Opera Alliance, facilitated by baritone Eric Green. If you are interested in having CAAPA Virtual Masterclass Series partner with your institution, please stay and watch our exiting video, which will have our contact information. Thank you everyone for joining us. We at CAAPA wish you a great day, and God bless.